Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to ask you if you are able to please rise for the Indonesian National Anthem, Indonesia Raya. Hadirin dimohon berdiri untuk menyanyikan lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya.
Ini dia Elastex Series dari Nippon Paint.
Elastex 3-in-1.
Elastex Nippon Champ.
Terima kasih, hadirin dipersilakan untuk duduk kembali. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Kami ucapkan selamat pagi dan selamat datang kepada yang terhormat Ketua Umum PSSI Bapak Erick Thohir. Yang kami hormati Wakil Ketua Umum 1 PSSI Bapak Zainuddin Amali. Wakil Ketua Umum 2 PSSI, Ibu Ratu Tisha Destria. Bapak Ibu Komite Eksekutif PSSI. Sekretaris Jenderal PSSI Bapak Yunus Nusi. Technical Director of PSSI Alexander Zwiers. And also it is our great honor to welcome this morning to Jakarta, Indonesia, Kepala Pelatih Tim Nasional Indonesia, John Herdman. Pelatih Performa Fisik, Dr. Cesar Melan. Serta rekan-rekan tamu undangan dan rekan-rekan media yang berbahagia. Terima kasih kami ucapkan atas kehadirannya dalam acara Press Conference tim pelatih Timnas Indonesia. Tepuk tangan yang meriah dong semuanya. Terima kasih. Senang sekali rasanya sekali lagi saya Paul Palele. Semuanya, terima kasih. Senang sekali rasanya sekali lagi saya Paul Palele yang dapat memandu acara ini sampai dengan siang nanti. Press Conference ini diselenggarakan oleh PSSI sebagai momentum resmi untuk memperkenalkan pelatih baru Tim Nasional Indonesia kepada publik dan media, dan ini merupakan bentuk komitmen PSSI dalam meningkatkan performa sepak bola nasional serta memperkuat kepercayaan publik terhadap arah dan strategi Timnas ke depannya. Our next agenda, before we begin, we would like to present to you a highlight video of our new head coach of the Indonesian national team. Beliau adalah pelatih asal Inggris dengan kiprahnya di level internasional. Sosok yang konsisten dengan rekam jejaknya mencakup keberhasilan membawa Kanada kembali ke Piala Dunia FIFA 2022. Kehadirannya menandai babak baru perjalanan sepak bola Indonesia menuju level internasional yang lebih tinggi. Selamat menyaksikan. Please enjoy this video.
Concept, cold air, hard ground, quiet work. Before the lights, there are tight spaces. One touch, two touch, eyes up, courage in the details. They called it unconventional. Good, because the game doesn't reward noise. It rewards habits. It rewards standards. And standards don't stay in one place. They travel. They lift people. They change what a team believes is possible. Trust, clarity, chemistry, built on ordinary days for extraordinary nights. Pressure doesn't break the dream. Pressure makes it real. Not by magic, by repetition, by resilience, by unity. The Ring of Fire, born of volcanoes and held by the ocean. Driven by millions of hearts with one burning will. A team with pride and a chapter to write. A new era, one pulse.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is our honor to officially introduce the new head coach of the Indonesian national team. Please welcome John Herdman. Good morning, Coach. Glad to have you with us after a one-day delay. We're glad to see that you are back in your feet, feeling better.
Back on my feet and here in Indonesia.
All right.
Selama pagi, everybody today. I'll start by saying I look bigger on TV, so I hope my size isn't underwhelming for everyone here. I'm bigger in spirit, but yeah, it's an exciting journey coming here with my family to see a new culture, a new country, a new football experience. And I have to thank the President, Eric Thohir, for his trust and his vision, the Exco Committee for their support. This is going to be an exciting project, and together we have some big goals. But more importantly, to the people, the fans, when I looked at the Indonesian opportunity, I felt very clear that this group of fans, these people, they deserve to be on the highest stage in world football. I've been looking for a project for a little bit of time now, the right project, and this is it. If you know where I'm from, it's a place called Newcastle. It's a city in the northeast of England which prides itself on hard work, but passion for football. And that's what I feel every time I've seen this Indonesian team play, the Garuda, and the people who support it. So I will bring my passion, I will bring my qualification experience to help bring this country to hopefully a place it's never been before. It's time.
Thank you so much, Coach, for your opening remarks. Tepuk tangan sekali lagi dong untuk Coach Herdman. Beliau membuka dengan sebuah pernyataan, terutama jangan kaget sama postur tubuh yang mungkin kelihatan lebih besar kalau lihat di TV atau sosial media, tapi mengukur dia dari jiwanya yang dia anggap itu sangat besar. Terutama dia sangat semangat untuk bisa datang ke Indonesia bersama keluarganya. Dia sangat semangat untuk bisa datang ke Indonesia bersama keluarganya juga. Dan ini adalah sebuah negara baru untuk beliau dan sebuah kebudayaan baru juga. Dan sebelumnya dia ingin mengucapkan terima kasih untuk Bapak Erick Thohir bersama Exco juga atas dukungannya dan juga kepercayaannya terhadap dia sebagai pelatih kepala baru Timnas Indonesia. Dan yang pasti sudah jelas dari awal ada tujuan dan goal yang cukup besar untuk beliau memberikan fans bahkan timnas sendiri kesempatan untuk menyampai ke ke panggung dunia. Dan selama ini juga beliau sedang mencari proyek baru yaitu tujuan baru, kerjaan baru, dan dia merasa ini adalah pekerjaan yang tepat. Dan sedikit background dari dia sendiri, dia datang dari sebuah kota di Inggris, Onset, di mana daerah itu emang terkenal dari passionnya untuk sepak bola, dan dia melihat hal yang sama di sini di Indonesia juga, dan dia harap passion ini bisa diterapkan di Timnas Indonesia, dan dia juga bisa membawa passion yang sama dan juga pengalaman dia untuk kualifikasi di panggung dunia ke Indonesia juga. Saya akan membuka obrolan ini mungkin dengan 1-2 pertanyaan singkat untuk John, dan setelah ini seperti biasa saya akan kasih beberapa kesempatan untuk rekan-rekan media juga untuk tanya jawab. John, thank you for your opening remarks, and again, welcome to Indonesia. So I'd first like to start off by, you mentioned obviously Konset, a place that is known for passion, but not only as a place where you originated, but your experience have brought you to various parts around the world, New Zealand, obviously Canada. How do you feel that your country of origin, known obviously for football, not only that, but also your experience in other parts of the world can translate here and implemented in the program for Indonesian football?
Yeah, I think firstly, the experience of adapting different cultures, football cultures, social cultures, it's part of the experience of living, understanding, breathing the culture. So I've traveled with my wife, my daughter, my son. Dr. Milan have traveled with me to different countries to experience football, but the people. And I think this is a major part of the experience in Indonesia, to breathe with the fans, to understand what it really means to the people. And I think that's a starting point. You have to feel the fabric of the country. And on feeling it, you understand it. And from understanding it, you can now build the football culture internally, in the locker room. You know what to fight for. You know when to fight. You know how to bring the passion of the fans and connect it to the dressing room, to the players. I think that's been a huge part of moving from New Zealand, understanding Maori culture, understanding the gritty Canadian culture, and now coming to Indonesia and understanding what the Garuda Membra really is. I think that's going to be a huge part of what it will take to qualify this team for the World Cup in 2030, being ready to really feel what the fans need, then connect everything together.
Thank you, Coach. Saya terutama menanya karena bukan hanya negeri berasal dia, yaitu Inggris dari Konset yang terkenal untuk sepak bola, tapi pengalaman dia sudah membawa dia ke New Zealand dan Kanada untuk melatih, dan apa yang bisa diterapkan untuk role dia sebagai pelatih kepala di Indonesia, dan terutama dia ingin lebih mengenali kebudayaan kita, bukan hanya dari sisi sepak bola, tapi dari sisi sosial juga. Karena selama ini dia melatih di negara yang berbeda, itu dia selalu membawa keluarganya juga, dan Dr. Milan juga, untuk terutama mengenali kebudayaan dan fans sepak bola di negara tersebut. Karena itu menjadi titik mulai yang tepat untuk dia bisa menyambungi keinginan dan passion dari para fans sepak bola dengan timnasnya sendiri, dan di situ dia bisa lebih menyatui visinya, bukan hanya dari fans tapi menyambungi itu sama pemain dan timnya sendiri. Contohnya di New Zealand ada kebudayaan dari Maori. Nah, ini gimana caranya untuk bisa menerapkan kebudayaan tersebut sama timnasnya sendiri. Ataupun dari Kanada, di mana Kanada itu, untuk rekan-rekan media yang tahu, itu isi dengan banyak orang dari berbagai ras dan negara lain juga. Jadi terutama itu menjadi kunci untuk bisa menyampai tujuan lebih besar lagi, yaitu kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2030. Thank you for your answer, Coach. So again, we talk about different cultures. I'd like to go off that a little bit because, as you know, Indonesian national team is now filled with a mix of diaspora players along with local players that have come up through our system as well. This requires a bit of a balancing act. What's your vision and your plan to be able to combine the two together to create basically one united squad?
I mean, I don't see passports. I see people, I see opportunity. I think that's the most important thing in a culture, is to accept that our diversity will be our biggest strength. And if we choose it to be a weakness, it will be a weakness. But that won't be the choice this group of men will make during this journey. In my time in Canada, we lived in a melting pot of diverse populations, immigrants who came to that country, and with it, in one locker room, Jamaican, South American, European, Serbian, Scottish, English. The most important thing was the clarity of our vision, and the clarity of the vision never faltered. We were collectively responsible to take this jersey, and no different here in Indonesia. We are a privileged group of people that get to wear the Indonesian jersey, to wear that flag. And with that, we have a very short period of time to do something with it. We committed to history, to make history. We committed to leaving legacy for the next generation to believe that we are a football country. And when that clarity is so clear, you create an intent, an intensity, that passports do not matter. It's about the brotherhood, the people, and our commitment to a collective vision, which is shared by, speaking to the EXCO and President Tohir, it's shared by the people here in Indonesia. This is what this country wants. It wants to become a global football country. It wants to be seen and respected on the world stage. And the only way you gain that respect is qualifying for a World Cup and winning on the world stage. Every man in that locker room will want that. It'll be my job to ensure that regardless of your passport, regardless of your heritage, we are here for one reason.
Thank you, Coach. Saya nanya terutama mengenai Timnas Indonesia yang berisi dengan bukan hanya pemain diaspora, tapi juga pemain-pemain lokal yang besarnya dari liga di Indonesia juga. Dan gimana caranya untuk bisa menyatui para pemain menjadi satu unit. Dan beliau menyatakan bahwa dia tidak pernah melihat pemain dari paspor yang mereka miliki, tapi justru gimana caranya untuk bisa menyatui mereka menjadi satu, karena justru perbedaan antara semua pemain itu bisa jadi kekuatan, bukan jadi sebuah kelemahan. Dia menggunakan contoh dari Timnas Kanada, di mana kalau untuk teman-teman yang tahu, Kanada ini justru banyak sekali imigran yang datang dari negara lain, mungkin dari orang tuanya juga, dan Timnas Kanada itu berisi dari berbagai bangsa, dari Jamaika, Amerika Selatan, Eropa, Serbia, Skotlandia, dan Inggris juga. Dan mereka berhasil untuk bisa menyatuin semua kebudayaan itu menjadi satu dan menjadi satu kekuatan juga. Dan ini caranya untuk bisa membuat sebuah komitmen bersama juga untuk membuat sejarah baru dan meninggalkan legasi. Kenapa ini penting? Karena legasi ini yang membuat generasi berikutnya bisa meneruskan Indonesia sebagai negara sepak bola. Dan ini sebuah visi yang kolektif antara Coach Herdman dan juga Exco PSSI juga. Dan gimana caranya untuk Indonesia bisa dikenali sebagai negara sepak bola dunia? Caranya adalah untuk kualifikasi Piala Dunia dan juga menang di panggung internasional untuk tahun 2020. Thank you, Coach. And perhaps one real quick one for me before I open it to the floor. quick short-term plan first, because obviously this is a bit of a long-term commitment, but what are a couple of your first steps that you would like to implement, both personally or for the national team?
I think short-term, it's always an assessment. You take the time to listen, to understand people's experiences of the last World Cup, my own tactical experience of evaluating that 2-year campaign, which, came close, but it fell short. And you have to understand what that gap was, and that's speaking to the captain, creating a leadership group to fully understand what they experienced, how they suffered in moments, how they collectively recovered from the successes and failures of that campaign. And then internally to look at the standards, the high-performance systems and structures that underpin the team. These are critical steps. So it's a period of listening, understanding, ensuring that everyone that I need to listen to is heard, and then taking action, taking those steps, being very clear on what will take us to results quickly. And this is an important step. We have an excellent opportunity in March to take our first step together. I've already started communicating with the captain and some of the key leaders. I've contacted over 60 players to let them know that I'm here, I'm watching. And then it's building that team around the team, Dr. Milan, etc., who will support a raise in standards and bring the qualification habit that Indonesia has been missing. So the work over the last 15, 20 years of my experience has been qualifying teams for Olympic, World Cups. It's about seeing what's missing in that habit and building it. So short term, listen, understand, but get to action. Let's get moving. Let's go.
Awesome, thank you Coach. Dan yang terakhir dari saya menanya mungkin tahap pertamanya apa yang akan diterapkan terlebih dahulu dari Coach Herdman. Terutama dia ingin melakukan assessment, jelas. Tapi ini ada beberapa tahap, yaitu terutama dia ingin mendengar dari timnasnya sendiri dan mengerti apa kebutuhannya. Dari situ dia akan melakukan evaluasi karena jelas Indonesia timnasnya sudah melakukan beberapa langkah yang baik dalam 2 tahun terakhir, sudah dekat tapi tidak sampai tujuannya. Dan disinilah dia sudah ngobrol dengan beberapa pemain, terutama dia udah ngobrol dengan lebih dari 60 pemain dan dia ingin tahu rasanya dari kegagalan kemarin ada sesuatu yang pasti dirasain yang kurang enak. Nah dari situ dia juga ingin mengerti dan membuat pemain juga mengerti apa caranya, gimana caranya untuk bisa tidak mengulangi hal tersebut. Dan yang pasti action yang berikut apa yang harus dilakukan untuk bisa melewati tahap berikut ini dan menunjukkan hasil. Maret ini yang mendatang akan jadi kesempatan pertama untuk bisa melakukan itu dan ini juga pasti balik lagi ke pengalamannya Coach Herdman dari 15 sampai 20 tahun terakhir. Tugas dia adalah mengambil sebuah program, melihat apa kekurangannya untuk bisa ke tahap kualifikasi, mau itu Olimpiade maupun Piala Dunia. Jadi 3 tahap, mendengar, mengerti, dan aksi berikutnya untuk melakukan itu. Terima kasih. Thank you Coach for our quick chat here. I would like to actually give a chance for some of our media friends to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. So seperti biasa saya akan mungkin mulai dari sebelah kiri. Kalau ada yang ingin menanya, boleh langsung angkat tangannya. Maaf ya ada sedikit spotlight di sini. Mungkin dari teman-teman kita bisa bantu pilih salah satu. Maaf ya, nggak kelihatan ke sisi kirinya, ada lighting soalnya. Boleh dipilih salah satu? Terima kasih. Boleh disebutkan dulu perkenalan dan langsung aja sama Coach atau saya.
Halo, saya Rizky dari bola.com. Hi Coach, welcome to Indonesia. It's a pleasure to have you here. My question is, there were reports that you turned down offers from Honduras and Jamaica, two teams ranked higher, and one of them still in contention for the World Cup, and in the end, you choose Indonesia. What were the main reasons behind your decision to join this national team instead of them? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Okay, go ahead, Coach. What was your main reason for accepting this new role?
I think my career to date has been about building, working with a federation that has the passion, the vision to take a country to a place it's never been before. That was clear from everything I've read, heard from the people here, that this country is ready. It has no more excuses. We have the players, we have the ability, we have a professional league. It's now the time, the qualification habit. I've worked in CONCACAF, I've had experience there, but I honestly believe with a population of 280 million, 80-90% of people are football mad. They love their football. This is the place to be. And I want to be here when this country takes that step. I was there in Canada when we took our step. For the women and the men, I want to be here. This is one of the most exciting opportunities in world football. It's not about ranking. It's not about these teams had better players or you could do this at this World Cup. There is a big opportunity here in Indonesia to go somewhere no group of men or fans have been before, and that's to a FIFA World Cup. That's the mission. Every day I wake up, every day I get out of bed, everything I'll be thinking about, other than my family, will be qualifying this team for a World Cup, putting the steps in place.
Thank you, Coach. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya yang menurut saya cukup menarik ya, karena sebelum mengambil posisi baru sebagai pelatih kepala di Indonesia, ada kabarnya bahwa dia dapat tawaran dari negara-negara lain seperti Honduras dan Jamaica, di mana ada negara pun yang sudah kualifikasi untuk Piala Dunia. Alasannya kenapa dia memilih untuk kerja sama Indonesia, dan dia ingin membangun. Kata-kata kunci adalah membangun, karena dia ingin bekerja sama PSSI untuk membangun sesuatu di sini, karena menurut beliau Indonesia ini sudah siap. Kita memiliki pemain, kita memiliki abilitasnya, dan kita juga memiliki liga yang baik, di mana kita hanya butuh satu tahap lagi untuk mencapai tujuannya. Dia sudah pernah kerja sama CONCACAF juga, tapi ini menurut dia kesempatan yang lebih besar. Kita memiliki fan base paling besar di dunia, yaitu 280 juta lebih fans sepak bola, dan dia juga punya pengalaman di Kanada bukan hanya di sisi putra, tapi di putri juga, dua-duanya mengalami kesuksesan untuk bisa membangun program sepak bolanya. Ini bukan mengenai ranking dunia, ini bukan mengenai pemain atau timnya sendiri, tapi kesempatan. Jadi dia ingin membawa negara ini dan para fansnya untuk mengalami sesuatu yang tidak pernah dialami dalam sejarah Indonesia, yaitu kualifikasi untuk Piala Dunia. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya, Mbak. Next dari tengah boleh? Boleh dari, ya silakan langsung.
Baik, welcome to Indonesia, Coach John. My name is Aya from iNews TV. As you mentioned earlier, that Indonesia has one of the biggest football fans, and we are all very passionate about football, obviously, and they all want the best for our national team, of course. My question is, with the dynamic that happened recently to our national team, are you mentally ready to get pressure from lots of fans, especially if there will be a negative results in the future? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So, yeah, there is pressure, obviously, considering what you mentioned earlier. We were close, but we did not succeed. So, are you prepared to face this pressure, especially from fans who do have high expectations?
Yeah, I mean, that pressure is a privilege. You come to an organization, you lead a team, you carry the weight of a nation, and that weight can be a curse or it can be a gift. We'll definitely alchemize that into the gift for all of us. It will be a big opportunity that I will continue to share with the players, because I've lived the moment when a country stops and you qualify for the first time. I've lived that moment, so I understand it. So I can tell my players this pressure is a gift. We will listen to the fans, we will use their energy, and I would say to the fans, qualifying for a World Cup does not happen overnight. It took Canada 36 years to get there. For Indonesia, they took a big step, a huge step, recently. And we have to take the next step, and we will. So the commitment, the pressure is what will make us, what will be driving us to ensure that we deliver that moment for this country. That's why I came here. That opportunity is why I get out of bed every day.
Thank you, Coach. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya mengenai tekanan yang akan dihadapi oleh Coach Herdman ke depannya, karena ekspektasi fans mungkin udah cukup tinggi ya untuk timnas sepak bola, tapi beliau melihat tekanan ini sebagai sebuah privilege ya, di mana dia tidak melihat itu sebagai beban tapi ataupun kutukan, tapi justru sebuah berkah, karena ini adalah kesempatan untuk dia mengambil tekanan ini dan bisa dibagi antara pemain juga, karena ini yang bisa membuat mereka bisa termotivasi. Ingat ya, dia pernah mengalami ini juga, di mana ada sebuah negara yang selama 36 tahun belum kualifikasi untuk Piala Dunia, yaitu Kanada, dan itu tidak terjadi dengan satu malam. Membuat langkah jauh sampai ke tahun lalu, hanya membutuh satu langkah lagi untuk sampai ke tahap berikutnya, dan ini adalah sebuah komitmen yang harus diambil oleh beliau dan juga pemain-pemain timnas dan federasi untuk membuat dorongan untuk mereka bisa mencapai tujuan itu. Terima kasih Mbak atas pertanyaannya. Saya ingin geser ke sebelah kanan, boleh Mas yang angkat tangan duluan? Silakan langsung perkenalkan diri dulu, boleh langsung.
Saya bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Boleh.
Saya Adi dari bola.com. Coach, saya punya dua pertanyaan. Pertama, sebelum kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2030, Indonesia akan menghadapi dua turnamen besar terlebih dahulu, Piala AFF 2026, kemudian Piala Asia 2027. Kalau saya tidak salah, Coach ditargetkan untuk membawa timnas ke 8 besar Piala Asia 2027 dan mungkin juga juara di Piala AFF. Bagaimana Coach memaknai dua turnamen tersebut, terutama Piala AFF yang kita tahu skalanya adalah skala regional. Kemudian yang kedua, Coach juga akan melatih timnas U23. Nantinya dalam periode FIFA Matchday September-Oktober itu juga ada Asian Games 2026 di Jepang, dan timnas senior, timnas U23 akan main, kemudian setelah FIFA Matchday juga mungkin akan dimainkan oleh timnas senior. Bagaimana Coach membagi waktu sebagai pelatih timnas senior dan U23, terutama ketika Asian Games nanti? Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Mas Adi atas pertanyaannya. I'll translate. There's two questions here. It's Adi from bola.com. First thing is, outside of qualification for World Cup for 2030, prior to that, there are already two tournaments upcoming. First, the AFF 2026 and the Piala Asia 2027. These are two tournaments that are obviously quite big in the region as well. So the first question is, how do you plan on preparing for those two upcoming tournaments prior to World Cup qualification? And the second part of the question is, in regards to the under-23s, that will likely be headed for the Asian Games this coming September. How will you be balancing your time and commitment between the two?
Yeah, I think if I answer the first question, I think in the most important thing around the tournaments is, for some of these players, they haven't had tournament experience, like true tournament experience. They've had World Cup qualification campaigns. So for some of the new diaspora players, the naturalized players, they will need to experience a tournament format, and that's an exciting experience, and one that requires real expertise and discipline. So that'll be a new experience for them, and a one that I genuinely believe, particularly the AFC tournament, we can be competitive at. And with the talent pool that we have, with the experience we'll put around the team of tournament formats, we have a good opportunity to push our levels and create some history with our achievements. I think that's important. We have to be ready to be brave to say that this group is talented. This is a talented group of players now. And with the right support and leadership, you know, the AFC tournament, which I know how big that is, having participated in CONCACAF tournaments, it will be an exciting adventure for the players, but more importantly, a one where we can showcase where we are at now and take those next steps as a country. The tournament in July, August will be different. It's difficult to bring back your tier 1, tier 2 players for those events because they have their club commitments. It's outside of a FIFA window. So this is why it's important to have a wider pool of players. And I think, you know, the tournament in August, the Hyundai Cup, will be a good opportunity for me to understand the depth of the Indonesian player pool and to give opportunities to players that may not get the opportunity in March in the FIFA window or June the FIFA window, but to give opportunities to younger players, but a wider group of Indonesian players. So I think it's the way the tournaments are structured for a new coach, it's perfect. You get a chance to use the wider pool, which is similar to what we did in CONCACAF with the Gold Cup. We never had access to Alphonso Davies or Jonathan David for those tournaments. You had to use local players and use your wider pool. And you learn, you get to see players in that situation. And with the under-23s in Canada, again, part of my role was to program direct the 20s, 23s. The bridge to the national team is so important to ensure that we have consistency in our cultural framework, our tactical framework, because while success at those levels are important for us to celebrate the strength of our young players, they are a pathway to the national team. And we have to find ways to accelerate their ability to arrive in the national team ready. So working closely with our U20, U23 coaching staff, it will be important we have consistency in elements of philosophy. As I said, the culture framework, the tactical framework. And while there'll be differences, because every coach has their philosophy, there has to be similarities to ensure the players are ready. When they are called, they are ready to play. They're not thinking different system, different culture. They're ready to go because at international, the window is too short.
Perfect. I think that answers both the questions. Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya mengenai turnamen yang akan mendatang, yaitu termasuk AFC dan Piala AFF juga. Dan ini menurut Coach Herdman adalah bagus untuk mendapatkan pengalaman di dalam sebuah turnamen, karena ada beberapa pemain diaspora kita pun yang mungkin kekurangan pengalaman di sebuah turnamen format. Dan ini membutuhkan pengalaman, ini membutuhkan expertise, dan Piala AFC ini penting untuk negara seperti Indonesia karena secara talenta kita sudah memiliki talenta yang cukup baik di region ini. Kita punya kesempatan besar untuk membuat sejarah karena ini juga turnamen yang menurut beliau ada kemiripan sama CONCACAF juga. Yang jelas mungkin untuk turnamen yang mendatang di bulan Agustus yang di luar jendela FIFA, ini mereka akan mungkin kehilangan beberapa pemain tier 1 dan tier 2. Tapi ini justru kesempatan baik untuk memberikan pengalaman untuk pemain muda, pemain lokal yang bisa dapat jam terbang untuk menambah pengalaman juga. Dan turnamen format ini juga kesempatan yang baik untuk pelatih baru. Karena pelatih baru ini juga bisa mencoba mainkan pemain lokal dan lain-lain untuk bisa menyatukan dengan timnas utamanya. dan mengenai pertanyaan menyambung ke program U23 dan menurut beliau program U20, U23 sebelum maju ke timnas senior ini sangat dibutuhkan sebuah framework yang konsisten, filosofi yang sama, di mana ini menjadi jembatan untuk membuat program yang konsisten agar pemain-pemain muda yang di level U20 sama 23 bisa melanjuti dengan pengalaman dan filosofi yang sama untuk bisa melanjuti tanpa banyak berubah untuk ke timnas senior juga. Jadi sekali lagi ini adalah kesempatan yang baik di tahun 2026 ini bisa membangun hal-hal tersebut. Thank you so much, Coach, for your time. Obviously, you're going to have plenty more time in the coming days and weeks to chat more with the media, but unfortunately we are out of time. I do have some time. I would like to invite you up front for a photo for our media friends. Jadi untuk rekan-rekan media dipersilakan untuk maju ke depan untuk mengambil gambar. Coach, if you please. Maybe on the top of the stage here, right in the center. If we could have you right here, just in front of the table. Dan untuk rekan-rekan media boleh mengambil posisi untuk sesi foto bersama. We'll start with a photo straight up center front in 3, 2, and 1. Maybe to the left. 3, 2, and 1 to the left, and to the right. 1, 2, and 3. Dan kami ingin mengundang Ketua Umum PSSI Bapak Erick Thohir untuk bergabung atas panggung foto bersama terlebih dahulu. Selamat sekali lagi. Dan foto di depan dulu. 3, 2, and 1. We could get one to the left, di sebelah kiri. One to the left side. 3, 2, and 1. And one to the right, please. In 3, 2, and 1. Dan selanjutnya kami persilakan Bapak Erick Thohir untuk menyerahkan secara simbolis jersey timnas kepada Coach Herdman. There we go. Name on the back and all. We can get a photo, both holding the jersey. 3, 2, and 1. Boleh tepuk tangan, terima kasih. Dan one to the left, one for our friends on the left, sebelah kiri. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And last one to the right in 3, 2, and 1. Dan kami juga turut mengundang Eksekutif Komite PSSI untuk bergabung di atas panggung dan foto bersama juga. Dipersilakan untuk Exco PSSI. Kami ingin mengundang Bapak Zainuddin Amali, Ibu Ratu Tisha Destria, Bapak Yunus Nusi juga. Alex Ruiz, if we could have you as well, join us on the stage. Thank you. Oke, dipersilakan untuk rekan-rekan media di depan dulu di 3, 2, 1 sekali lagi 3, 2, 1. We could have you look to the left, mohon arah ke sebelah kiri. 3, 2, 1. Dan yang terakhir untuk teman-teman di sebelah kanan, on the right. 3, 2, and 1. Boleh pose salam olahraga sekali. Terima kasih. Yes. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu, kami mohon untuk duduk kembali untuk Bapak Erick Thohir dan Eksekutif Komite PSSI. And we would like to ask Coach Herdman to remain on the stage. Yang lain Bapak Ibu boleh dipersilakan untuk kembali ke tempat. Terima kasih. Satu lagi foto yang kita ingin mengambil karena kita tahu salah satu komitmen bukan hanya dari Coach Herdman sendiri, tapi dari keluarganya yang sudah bergabung. So Coach, if we can have you on stage and on your own. Terima kasih Pak. And at this time we'd like to invite the family, Mr. Herdman's family, to join on the stage if you don't mind for a photo, because this is a very special occasion. Well, can we get you to hold the jersey once for a photo on your own? There you go. We have the honor of having Mr. Herdman's wife Claire, I believe, and children as well. Thank you so much for all of you for being here today. Okay, thank you, Coach. Here we go, one more the other way. 3, 2, and 1. All right, one family picture perhaps before we close things out. Thank you. Again, it's a big pleasure for the Herdman family to be here as well. Terima kasih atas keluarganya John Herdman yang sudah bergabung juga di Indonesia, di mana mereka akan bertempat juga. 3, 2, and 1. One more, 3, 2, and 1. One to the left, if you would please. 3, 2, and 1. Last one to the right. And 3, 2, and 1. Thank you so much, and you may all return to your seats. Do appreciate your time. Coach, thank you once again, dan hadirin yang kami terhormat. Thank you, Coach. Welcome. All right, we'll see you again soon. Hadirin yang kami hormati, demikian rangkaian press conference perkenalan pelatih Timnas Indonesia mewakili PSSI mengucapkan terima kasih sebesar-besarnya kepada seluruh tamu undangan serta rekan-rekan atas kehadiran dan dukungannya. Tentunya kehadiran Coach Herdman diharapkan dapat membawa energi baru dan visi yang kuat untuk menuju tim nasional Indonesia yang lebih gemilang. Saya Paul Palele pamit, terima kasih, selamat melanjutkan aktivitas hari ini, selamat siang.
Dapat nggak? Nggak ya? Emang ada yang mau di-dance? We try our best.
Udah di depan dia.
Yes.
Slowly. Oke. Sabar, Pak Marji mau masuk. Pak Marji mau masuk. Sabar.
Good luck. Good luck. Wow.
Indonesia.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Udah nyala belum? Oke. Udah. Oke, quiet ya. Udah.
Coach, after this conference, what's your agenda?
I think to take it all in is a starting point, just to breathe. I mean, you know, when you're standing listening to that national anthem for the first time, watching that video, it's real. You know, I'm here now in Indonesia. I have to breathe. I have to take it in, get excited for what this is, and then get to work. If anyone knows my background, I'm very organized in planning and making sure that we have every detail covered for the March camp. March is an important window for us. It's the start of something new, and I want to make sure the players, the fans, they feel something new. So I'll be getting to work immediately, but at the moment I'm going to enjoy this. This is an exciting part of my life, for my family to see the passion here already. I can't wait.
Coach, do you have a plan to add more European-born players to this squad?
Yeah, I think if you've seen my journey in Canada with the men's team, I have a very clear philosophy. To compete on the world stage, you need tier 1 and tier 2 players playing in the top 5 leagues in the world. You need players that have experienced the intensity, the tactical acumen of world football, international football. So consistently I will always recruit players whose careers are telling the best story. And your football career doesn't lie. If you are a top player, you play at the top levels. And Indonesia are at a stage where people want to play for this country. And the local players, their passion, their energy, their commitment, that will come through as well. We will, hopefully, in the next few years, find players that we can export to Europe, to those top leagues or internationally. So I will constantly work to find the best players to play for Indonesia.
Have you got the candidate of
a potential player from England as well?
Have you scouted some of them in the European?
Yeah, I think it's not hard to see where your top players are. You are looking to bring the best players to this country. Convincing those players to play for Indonesia is a big step, because there are lots of opportunities for players, but I think when players feel and see this passion, this opportunity, the opportunity to be the first group of men to qualify a country to a World Cup, that was a big part of what convinced Stefano Stacchio in Canada to not play for Portugal and play for Canada, to be that group of men that made history and to celebrate with 280 million people. There aren't many countries in the world that can offer that to top players. So I will spend my time with others in PSSI to work diligently to find the best players and to convince them to be part of this journey, which is going to be one of the greatest stories in world football.
Coach, have you made any communication with? Have you made a communication with any players from our national team?
Yes. Over the Christmas, I was wishing many of them a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year with their families. But you know, I've spoke to the core group of players. I've had conversations, long conversations with our captain and some of the senior leaders. Not yet to learn about their World Cup, but just to get to know them as people and introduce myself. Over the next 2 weeks, I will have video conferences with the core leaders of the team to understand the World Cup qualification campaign, to get their perspective, to understand their motivations, why they play for Indonesia, what they want out of their journey. These are conversations that will take place in the next 2 weeks. And then I will visit them. I will, at the end of January, early February, I will head to Europe to watch their training environment, to listen to them in person, to look for other players as well that may be ready to join. But it's going to be busy. It's a busy time, and listening to the players, understanding their perspectives is the most important thing at this stage.
Would you visit some of the local club in National League, maybe because there is our mostly player from
Yes,
national team?
absolutely. I think you have to recognise the professional league here. You know, I had a chance to watch the Clásico on TV the other night, which was it was a very fiery, passionate affair, which derbies are. But you know, I think having a commitment to the domestic league here, you know, that's the foundation for our future. And it's important that, one, I'm watching, because if the national coach is not watching the domestic league, then there's no hope for our domestic players. And we have players like Rizky Uridu, who is doing well in that league, and you know, hopefully he might be somebody that can play at that next level. So you know, I think it's important for our young players, the young players in Borneo FC, those players that are getting game time, to know that the national team coach is watching, because they're our future.
So maybe
Coach,
this weekend, maybe you're gonna go to?
I love football, so the more football I can watch, the better.
Coach, will your assistant mostly a local persons, and what look like the staff lineup?
Yeah, the assistant coaches, that'll be a process over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll be making some appointments there. I can't say too much at this moment in time, but that process is underway. The local staff, the analysts, some of the sports science, etc. We will commit. My time in Canada with Dr. Milan, our goal was to leave legacy, to ensure that we, as best we could, used as many local people to give them the experience, because that's important. That's the legacy. When you leave this country, hopefully not too soon, maybe I can live here forever, who knows, but you have to leave that legacy of people, and that's the local people are important.
Satu terakhir, one terakhir.
In choosing the players.
Pak Sumarji, terkait dengan komunikasi antar perangkat kepelatihan di Timnas Indonesia sejauh ini dengan kehadiran Bang John seperti apa, dan nantinya ke depannya 6 bulan pertama bagaimana, apa yang digalakkan dari kehadiran Bang John di Timnas Indonesia mungkin ya? Boleh?
Yeah, quickly.
Okay. So basically the communications between you and the remainder of the coaching staff that are local, what's the communication process going to be like between you and the local coaching staff?
Yeah, so I mentioned in the press conference analysis, you have to go through an analysis. So there'll be a post-mortem into understanding the World Cup qualification campaign. So I'll be meeting with individual staff, spending time to listen from their perspective, what their roles are, how they contributed to success or failure, and then understanding what we need moving forward. Is this a new future? Is it a revamp? Is it a reconditioning of everything we have here, and you know, supporting the people that have that experience of a World Cup qualification, giving them the chance to go again and learn? All of those things are important.
Last one, Coach, regarding to the players, are you open for the opinion from the federation, or are you going to in charge for the players instead of choosing the players in the future?
Yeah, I mean, national team coaches, they have to take full accountability for their decision making. As a national team coach, you have to consult. It's important to listen to the wisdom of the crowd. You listen to fans, you listen to experts, you listen to coaches in the system lower, you listen to professional coaches in the league. But the head coach, he knows when to turn that noise down and to make decisions. And that's the pressure, the accountability the head coach has to take. And I'm ready for that accountability and responsibility. The head coach will make the decisions on who plays in every game, across games, and in every squad.
All right, thank you. Terima kasih semuanya. Thank you.
For Indonesian food, you ready?
Ready.
Bang, terima kasih ya.
Terima kasih ya. Bang John semangat.
Mas, thank you ya.
Thank you ya.
Oh, that was a long doorstop, you guys.